Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're exploring one of the most fascinating futuristic concepts in space travel, the space elevator. Imagine reaching orbit without rockets, fuel explosions, or massive launch costs. This incredible idea could revolutionize how we transport cargo and humans into space, making it faster, cheaper, and more sustainable. We'll break down how it works, its challenges, and why scientists believe it could soon be reality. Stick around for the journey, and don't forget to subscribe. Number 5. Lower launch costs. One of the most compelling advantages of space elevators is the significant reduction in launch costs. Traditional rocket launches require massive amounts of fuel, complex engineering, and disposable hardware, which makes each mission extremely expensive. In contrast, a space elevator would operate more like a vertical transportation system, using electric or solar-powered climbers to move cargo and people into orbit. This eliminates the need for multi-stage rockets and costly fuel, drastically lowering the price per kilogram of payload sent to space. Instead of spending tens of thousands of dollars per kilogram, space elevator transportation could reduce costs to a fraction of current prices. This affordability would make space accessible not just for government agencies, but also for private companies, research institutions, and even tourism. By removing the high financial barrier, industries like satellite deployment, zero-gravity manufacturing, and asteroid mining could flourish. Moreover, with reusable systems and minimal waste, maintenance costs would be far lower than building and launching rockets repeatedly. In essence, a space elevator could transform space access from an elite, high-cost operation into a routine, budget-friendly service that opens the door for a new era of innovation beyond Earth. Number 4. Continuous cargo transport. One of the most significant advantages of a space elevator is its ability to provide continuous cargo transport to orbit. Unlike traditional rockets, which can only launch during specific windows and require long preparation times between missions, a space elevator could operate around the clock. This means materials, satellites, and supplies could be sent into space steadily and predictably, without the constraints of weather delays or the need for multiple rocket launches. Cargo could be loaded at the base station on Earth and sent up the tether using electric-powered climbers, reaching orbital stations in days rather than minutes, but with much greater safety and reliability. This constant flow of goods would make it easier to build and maintain space habitats, refuel spacecraft, and expand our presence beyond Earth. For industries like manufacturing and microgravity, continuous transport ensures a steady supply of raw materials and a reliable return path for finished products. It would also drastically reduce the logistical challenges of supporting astronauts and deep space missions. By transforming orbital supply chains from irregular rocket launches into a consistent and scalable delivery system, the space elevator could revolutionize how humanity moves cargo into space. Number 3. Eco-friendly access. Space elevators offer a significant environmental advantage over traditional rocket launches. Rockets burn massive amounts of fuel, releasing large quantities of carbon dioxide, water vapor, and other pollutants directly into the upper atmosphere. These emissions not only contribute to climate change, but can also damage the ozone layer. In contrast, a space elevator relies on electric-powered climbers traveling along a tether, which can be powered by renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, or even space-based solar power. This means the transportation of cargo and people to orbit could be done with virtually zero greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, the system would produce far less noise pollution and avoid the chemical residue left behind by rocket exhaust. The shift to an electrically powered clean transportation method would dramatically reduce the ecological footprint of space travel. By cutting down on harmful emissions, space elevators could make orbital access more sustainable in the long term, helping preserve Earth's environment while still enabling humanity to expand into space. This eco-friendly approach aligns with global goals to reduce carbon output and transition to greener technologies, making the space elevator not only a technological breakthrough, but also an environmental one. Number 2. Safer space travel. One of the most significant advantages of space elevators is the potential to make space travel much safer for astronauts. Traditional rocket launches are inherently risky due to the massive amounts of fuel required, the extreme forces during liftoff, and the possibility of catastrophic failures. In contrast, a space elevator would provide a stable and controlled descent from Earth to orbit, removing the dangers associated with rapid acceleration and high-pressure conditions. Astronauts would travel in specialized climbers that move along a tether, gradually increasing altitude without subjecting them to intense G-forces or violent vibrations. This steady journey greatly reduces the strain on the human body, making it possible for more people, including those who might not withstand the physical demands of rocket launches, to experience space travel. Furthermore, the absence of explosive fuel stages along the ascent means there is a much lower risk of fatal accidents. In emergencies, climbers could be slowed, stopped, or even returned to the ground with far greater precision than a rocket abort sequence. By removing many of the life-threatening elements of current spaceflight, space elevators could pave the way for routine and reliable human travel beyond Earth's atmosphere. Number 1. Gateway to deep space. A space elevator could serve as a revolutionary gateway for deep space exploration. By providing a stable and reusable pathway from Earth to orbit, it eliminates the reliance on powerful rockets for initial launch, making it easier to assemble and fuel spacecraft in space. This means large interplanetary ships could be built and supplied in orbit without the weight and fuel restrictions of Earth-based launches. Once in geostationary orbit, these spacecraft could depart directly toward the Moon, Mars, or even more distant destinations, with far less energy expenditure. The reduced launch costs and simplified logistics would encourage more frequent missions, support long-term human presence in space, and enable ambitious projects such as asteroid mining or lunar resource extraction. Additionally, the space elevator's constant availability would allow for regular transport of materials, scientific equipment, and crew without being dependent on narrow launch windows. This accessibility could transform deep space travel from rare, high-risk undertakings into routine operations. In short, the space elevator would not just connect Earth to low orbit, it would become a stepping stone, turning humanity into a truly spacefaring civilization capable of reaching and exploring the farthest corners of our solar system. Thanks for watching. Space elevators might sound like science fiction, but they could become a game changer for space exploration. With new materials and technology, the dream of riding to orbit may be closer than ever. Stay curious, explore the future with us, and remember to subscribe.